Mario has plenty of classic iconic characters that people know for about 40 years now. Whether it's from the mainstays that's been in every game to the RPG characters, or that one single Mario enemy that you cannot help to like, there are so many of them over the years. But I feel like what makes some of the mainstay characters a bit more interesting is how they started off with and how they are now. Like Toadette, for example, was made specifically to give Toad a partner in Double Dash, doubly so for Waluigi, who was made to give Luigi a rival. And with this aspect, I feel like Daisy is also one of the more interesting ones to talk about. As today's standards, she's easily the second most well-known female character in the Mario franchise, right behind Peach. I feel like Daisy is just one of those characters where in hindsight, it is crazy where she is now. Not on the same levels of something like Pauline, where she was in basically Mario vs. Donkey Kong purgatory, but more so just how much Nintendo evolved this character over the years. Even though I do feel like some of the aspects of Daisy's history kinda faded obscurity, most because of what game she debuted in, which was Super Mario Land on the Game Boy. This was a cute little platformer during the late 80s, as this is one of Mario's earliest portable adventures. Although this is not really quite the most popular game in the series, especially compared to its sequel. Like, it's very solid for Mario standards, but what really draws this thing back is probably the length being literally 20 minutes long. Like, I was getting footage for this video and I beat it in less than half an hour. But what really makes up this game is definitely the theming, because this is the game that debuted Daisy's home, Sarasaland. Now, out of everything, I think Sarasaland always had the most misconception due to the fact how niche this game is. And so because of this, a lot of people assume that Sarasaland is just a big old desert, and is that really the case?
The answer is yes and no.
The desert is a kingdom, but it's not necessarily Sarasaland, as Sarasaland's not really a kingdom, Daisy rules. It's more so like a country or empire divided by 4 different kingdoms. The desert Mario travels to is called the Birabuda Kingdom, and it's being ruled by the Sphinx dude that's basically a stand-in for a Bowser boss fight. But anyway, so yeah, Daisy debuted in the game, which at the time she didn't really have that much of a significant part of the game, as she was mostly there just to fill in Peach's role as the damsel in distress in a different kingdom. As instead of being kidnapped by Bowser, she was kidnapped by this evil alien named Tatanga that Mario needs to rescue. But despite this, Nintendo still used Daisy in other types of Mario games, like her next appearance was in NES Open Golf Tournament. As here, Nintendo had Daisy pair with Luigi in parallels with Mario being paired with Peach, even if she was there as just a simple cameo. However, after this game, Daisy would then fall into complete obscurity for a few years, as her next big appearance in a Mario game would be almost a decade later. However, she did make one other appearance after this, which was in the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie. Yes, the one with Sid the Sloth as Luigi. I'm gonna make this brief, but Daisy's role in the movie was basically her being the chosen one, as she is the ruler of a parallel world called Dino Hatton, and President Koopa wants to merge the 2 worlds together so he can rule the world. This movie is not really good per se, but it's honestly fun just to watch because you're just constantly asking yourself, why? But yeah, besides that, Daisy skipped throughout the entire SNES life. Now, starting with the N64, this is when Nintendo was releasing a lot more Mario multiplayer spin-off series. And one of them is basically a reboot of their tennis games, which is Mario Tennis. Where Nintendo reintroduced Daisy as a playable character, and after this game, she basically became a mainstay in every single Mario spin-off game. Even with spin-off series before Tennis, she basically got in, like with Mario Party, where she wasn't in Mario Party 1 or 2, but eventually became playable in 3. But interestingly, as the game goes on, the more Daisy developed more of her own personality. Like in Mario Tennis, for example, her mannerisms was kinda like Peach, but a bit more clumsy.
Yippee! Yahoo! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Ah! Thank you! Oh.
There was even this funny cutscene in Mario Party 3 where she was so startled by Bowser, she launched him into orbit. But it was when we head to the GameCube era where Daisy's personality was fully developed. As in Mario Golf Total Tour, they decided to went for a new direction for Daisy alongside with a new VA with Deanna Mustard. But anyway, so with Mario Golf, they decided to make Daisy a lot more tomboyish, especially with her being very energetic. Which is a pretty good contrast with Peach, whose personality is a lot more gentle and reserved. And I feel like the best way to describe it is how much Daisy evolved is with the victory animations between the N64 and GameCube Mario Tennis games. Because while Daisy was very clumsy with the N64 game, she was rocking in style during the ceremony in Power Tennis, as she blasts through Luigi in roller skates to celebrate her victory. Luigi almost dropped the trophy only for Daisy to actually catch it. And of course, I cannot mention any other Mario sports game without talking about Super Mario Strikers. As here, this is when Daisy's tomboy nature was cranked up tenfold alongside with the other Mario characters, especially with Charge where everyone is literally off the deep end. And that counts with Daisy as well, especially with the losing animations, where it looks like Daisy is about to open the gates to hell upon her own teammates. So yeah, Daisy after the N64 and GameCube era was basically here to stay for most of the Mario multiplayer games. If it was a sports game or a party game, you're guaranteed to have Daisy in the game, especially in the Mario Kart franchise. Alrighty, so I want to give Mario Kart its own section because Daisy had plenty of appearances in this game as well as different tracks of her own. But let's start with her debut game, which was Mario Kart Double Dash. As she was paired with Peach with this whole buddy mechanic, with both of them having this very nifty ability where they have this heart shield which allows them to pick up items that are on the track. And of course, this game also had Daisy's most iconic quote yet. But as for the Daisy courses, well, there were about 3 of them throughout the entire Mario Kart franchise. The first one, and it's probably the most iconic one, is Daisy Cruiser, which is definitely one of the most summer-feeling Mario courses in the entire series, and I really like it for that. I especially love the music in this course, as it really nails the tropical summery feel. The other one was Daisy Circuit from Mario Kart Wii, where you're racing through this cool little town area with a beautiful sunset. And then finally there was Daisy Hills, which compared to the other ones, this one isn't really too noteworthy, as it basically is the tutorial for the glider, but I do like the goats around the area, so there's that. And also, honorable mention goes to Shy Guy Bazaar in Mario Kart World. As even though this course wasn't really Daisy themed in the original version, I like how they added a lot more elements of the BR Buddha Kingdom from Sarasa Land in this. Super Mario Land never really gets callback like this, so it's really cool to see. And now we're finally up to present day with Daisy. Now starting with the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo was pushing Daisy a lot more games, as well as slightly tweaking her design by making her skin a bit more tan. But yeah, so Daisy was already a very prominent Mario character in the series, but this time Nintendo was pushier in their bigger games. As in 2018, Daisy would appear in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as an Echo Fighter for Peach, which was pretty cool to see, and honestly with how many games she appeared in over the years, I feel like she definitely deserved a spot in this game. Especially at this point, everyone knows who Daisy is, and she's definitely like a fan favorite in the Mario series. I mean, I remember back in 2022 when Mario Strikers Battle League were released, with that god-awful character roster with so many characters just not in the game. With the most egregious one is excluding Daisy day one, which was so absurd that even the people who don't even like Daisy said it was a dumb decision. And then finally at the near end of the Switch's life, Nintendo will release Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which basically acted like a fresh new start for the Mario franchise. And with this game, Daisy made her first ever appearance in a mainline Mario game for about 34 years. And not just a side character, but a full-on playable character, which was really cool to see. Like, I remember for years during like the new Super Mario Bros. Era, people were constantly asking for different playable characters like Wario and Waluigi. So it's really cool to see Nintendo dabbling on more characters that aren't just like the brothers and Toads. And that's basically where we are during the 2020s. I mean, Mario's getting more creative and wacky again, Sonic is having a great comeback, and Daisy's definitely here to stay. This video is a bit different compared to my other videos, which is a lot more retrospective-like, but I want to try out different types of video topics, and I feel like one of the best examples is just talking about, like, certain characters. And who knows, maybe I'll do more of these in the future, because I have a lot of different types of topics to say. But that'll do for today, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye!